Greetings, hello, welcome on in. Unoptimized Fool here with another weekly video for you guys. Again, about 4 articles this week talking about World of Warcraft. Very slow week, but we have big announcements. Obviously, today's Tuesday, reset day. Now, again, we started this new thing last week, and I am in a location that is mysterious to you, obviously. But if you know what it is, post it in the comments down below. It's a little fun little thing we're going to do. We're going to run it for 24 hours. If someone gets it first, obviously they win. Now, last week, no one got it, but it was the Exodar, by the way. We posted it in the comments. Now, if no one gets it, obviously we'll post it too. But obviously, I think that was a little bit too hard. So today, we're going a little bit easier. And this location is a little bit more current, right? So last maybe 1 or 2 expansions, look for that, right? Now, again, before we get into the news, I want to talk about the Spotters Guild. We are still growing. We're still doing amazing content. Saturdays, we are, raiding normal. Now, obviously, this is recorded before Saturday, so technically the progression we make tomorrow is not reported now, so obviously don't quote me, but last week we killed Galley. We got a full clear on that. Now obviously we're going for a full clear this week, and eventually we'll probably be going into heroic. We're also doing transmog runs on Friday, and also last night too, after the transmog run, people were doing mythic pluses. So it's a lot of content. We're diving into more stuff. We're being more active, and we would love to have you. So if you're not in a guild or you're looking to switch guilds, the Spotters is definitely for you. But let's get right into the news, guys. Greetings. All right, so the first piece of news for you guys is just a general announcement. Now, this video is going live on Tuesday, April 22nd, and guess what? 11.1.5 is now officially out. Now, this video might come out before the servers go live, but it's coming out today regardless, depending on extended maintenance or not. Now, what is coming out today, right? So obviously we have a couple of things to talk about, right? So I have a dedicated article to talk about the new XP event, so I won't go into too much detail about that, but that is going live today, as well as the cooldown manager. Now, that's going to be a new system where you can keep track of all your class cooldowns and your spec cooldowns, obviously. Now, it's not enabled by default, according to some of the PR that they've put out. So to enable it, you go into settings, UI, and you can enable it from there. And again, it's just going to take, there's some add-ons out there, mostly weak auras, that help you with your cooldowns. Now it's one less add-on you need to have, because remember, add-ons, they add on, no pun intended, to your, computational power on the computer, right? So obviously less add-ons, the less your computer has to load, and it's going to be easier for the game to function, right? So obviously if you're having problems with low FPS or just kind of stutters, maybe take out some add-ons too, by the way. That's just kind of general advice for you guys. As well as the new system for Nightfall. Now, Nightfall is going to be in Hollowfall. You're going to be hanging out with the Arathi, fighting the old forces of Ansarek, kind of having one last push of try to take over things. Obviously it's not going to work. We're the heroes, right? Now it has 10 renown levels that you can get with some cosmetics and all that stuff, so it's pretty cool. Again, you're gonna have dailies, weeklies, and just things to do, but not only is that happening, but that's the only thing that's happening this Tuesday. Now 11.1.5 has a lot more to offer. We have horrific visions and the Dastry duos, right? So where's that, right? Obviously, it's going to be staggered, right? We're going to see that stuff later on in the patch. Now, some people are upset about this. I think we have a lot of content to dive into. I think this staggered approach is probably the best idea. But, again, this video might come out before or after the servers are live, but enjoy 11.1.5 today. It is going to be a great one. Alright guys, let's talk about the Winds of Mysterious Fortune. That's the new experience/reputation buff that we're going to be experiencing in this mini event that we're going to be experiencing from today, which is April 22nd, till May 20th. Okay, so it is time limited and will go away after May 20th. But let's talk about it. So obviously, if between levels of 10 and 80, you'll be able to benefit from this. You'll get a base 20% increase to experience gained during those levels, which is awesome. And you can even add on to the ones we already have passively through leveling up alts, if you already have that, by the way. Now, there's also reputation inside of this, right? So reputation is affecting 2 expansions, Dragonflight and the War Within. Now, Dragonflight seeing a 200% increase to reputation gains inside of the Dragon Isles. Now, the reason for this is because Dragon Isles is now the new player experience, meaning if you're a new player, new to WoW, which I envy you guys, you get the experience WoW for the first time, you go through Dragonflight, right? And then you'll have that option for Chromie time later on. Now, in War Within, we have 100% reputation buff, but there's a little asterisk next to the 100%. I was like, whoa, what's that asterisk? The new Undermine reputation is not included in this buff, which is kind of sad, you know. It's kind of weird that they cherry pick it, but it is kind of new, the new reputation on the block, so it makes sense that they want people to naturally go through it. But I'm almost done anyway, so it's fine. I mean, I'm done with it all anyway, but it will get your base stuff up 100%, which is cool. But yeah, also too, if you are, doing quests inside of the War Within zones and, killing mobs, you'll be able to get these random satchels that have you'll bit potions, some 10% increase to, so you basically can make it to 30% too. You can take these potions and stuff like that. So again, they have some incentive to doing just quests, not just spamming dungeons, right? Because usually that's kind of the way to go. Obviously, the fastest way to level is through just quests, but it's easier to just sometimes do dungeon spamming. So some of this is kind of incentivizing you to do some, content in the quests and then doing some dungeons too. So definitely enjoy this content. Again, get your alts up. I have all my, I have every class level 80, but I'm definitely probably going to work on different specs now because again, we have some extra, experience coming our way. All right, guys, we're going to take a nice visit over to Anniversary Classic Edition. Now, there's a lot of ecosystems of Classic, but I want to talk about the Anniversary Edition. That's the newest one on the block per se, right? So Anniversary Edition is going to be entering Phase 4 with Zul'Gurub Tier 0.5, and it is coming the week of May 1st. Now, if they said the week of May 1st, the week of May 1st, obviously, probably come out maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I believe Classic is on Thursdays for some reason. So yeah, look out for that, guys. I just wanted to give you an announcement again. I know people are mostly here for retail, but obviously we have tons of ecosystems, and the Anniversary Edition of Classic is the newest kid on the block, and they're entering Phase 4. Now, eventually, the future of Classic, by the way, and the future of Anniversary is going eventually to the Burning Crusade, right? So again, it's just kind of a rendition of Classic when we had in, I believe it was 2019. But yeah, I just wanted to announce it real quick. Again, Phase 4 is going to be going live for you Classic enjoyers out there. And again, we like to kind of cover all the news here, every ecosystem. We talked about Season Discovery last week. That was a big week for them with Phase 8. Now we're getting Phase 4 for Anniversary Edition. So enjoy it. Again, Zul'Gurub is here, going to go inside that raid, as well as Tier 0.5 will be here. So look forward to that in the week of May 1st. Again, I believe their dates are on Thursday versus Tuesday for retail, but I could be wrong because sometimes I am. But yeah, enjoy Anniversary servers if you guys like that. All right, guys, I want to talk about World of Warcraft, obviously, right? Well, that's why we're here. But I want to talk about Twitch. Now, what does Twitch have to do with World of Warcraft? Well, obviously, we have Twitch drops, and today marks the launch of 11.1.5. Now, they are doing a Twitch drop for 11.1.5. It's a nice little bee bug. It looks like almost like a, think of like a spider, and then have a bee on top of it. Now, they love their bee pets, their bee mounts, and that is going to be the Twitch drop for 11.1.5. So look forward to that. Obviously, what you need to do is obviously go to Twitch, watch a channel that has drops. I have drops, and who said that, right? And you'll watch them for about 2 hours. Now, make sure that you have your WoW account connected to your Twitch account. Again, when you go into the, obviously most streams have drops enabled. Usually if you go to the big boys, right, the big streamers, right, you'll be able to see they have drops enabled, and you'll see a drop down saying you are now earning, points to get the B drop for World of Warcraft. Or if you don't have it hooked up, just double check. Obviously, it's going to be 2 hours. Obviously, you just have to watch the streamer for 2 hours. You can just AFK it the whole time. It's not going to be active viewing. So, but yeah, enjoy that. Again, it's going to be live today. The drop is going live today, probably more in the evening, so look out for that. But yeah, nice little bee pet for the add to your collection just for 2 hours of watching someone on Twitch. All right, guys, the last piece of news I have for today is my weekly yap about the renown system inside the new raid. Now again, quick overview. There's a renown inside the raid that you get for killing raid bosses and the lieutenants inside the raid, and it is a good way to level up your renown inside of there while getting cosmetic items, damage and healing upgrades, as well as some perks inside of the raid. So obviously this week we had access to rank 8. Now, just to remind you guys, and I've never said this before, but I record this video before the Tuesday. So technically, the day this comes out on Tuesday, rank 9 will be available, right? So I'm just talking about in the past, but I'm just letting you guys know what you can expect to get from this previous week, right? So rank 8 was the previous number that you could get. Now this week we didn't get anything too crazy. I mean, the week 7, rank 7, we got a beautiful damage and healing buff. Now this week we get no utility but a nice cosmetic, right? So obviously some weeks are going to be cosmetic, but now for about, I believe it is 500 gold, somewhere around that range, you can go and pick up a nice rocket. Now it's a beautiful rocket. Again, it's another mount that you can add to your collection. It's not going to help you inside the raid with damage or utility outside of combat. It's just cosmetic, right? There are going to be some cosmetic weeks for this renowned track, so definitely look forward to that. Again, collect all you can get. Again, it's I think it's between 5,000 and 1,000. Not sorry, 500 to 1,000 gold to get this rocket. It looks pretty awesome. It actually reminds me of the Valentine's mount. Obviously, it's reddish, not pinkish. And I still haven't got that mount, by the way, from that event. Still haven't gotten it. I've been farming it since 2006. That's cool. Anyway, but yeah, I just want to let you guys know that rank 8 is now available for the renowned track inside of the raid. Definitely start raiding, guys. And by the way, if you're behind on this, there is a catch-up mechanic, and as well as if you don't join us in the raids, which is totally fine, I know scheduling is an issue, do LFR. In LFR, you still get the same amount of reputation you get in normal, heroic, and mythic. So enjoy it, do the content, you'll benefit from it, you'll do more damage, do more healing, and just look, honestly, a little bit more cool, right? So enjoy it. Alright guys, that is going to be it for all the news today. This week was probably a little bit slow. Obviously we have this big event, 11.1.5 coming out. But overall, a slow news week, about 4 articles. But again, you can't control what news comes out. And I like to pull only the important parts. I could talk about everything, right? Make this a 2-hour episode, right? But I would lose my voice. You would lose interest, right? So I pull only the important parts. Now, obviously, there's some articles that I might miss that you think are important. Definitely let me know. And also, too, and on ways I can improve this show. I'm always looking to make micro improvements to everything that I do with content. So if you see something that you're like, oh, that would be cool if you had this. Eventually, I do want to upgrade my microphone. This actually doesn't work. It's a prop. Get pranked, right? So eventually, hopefully, I can get a new microphone. But again, join the spotters too, by the way. We are looking for members, as always, casual. You know, we have goblin mode if you want to be a goblin inside the raid. Go for it. We have the playstyle for you, for sure. But again, I am Unoptimized Fool. I do a lot of World of Warcraft content on my X page. So if you like World of Warcraft, you want to get daily updates from World of Warcraft, definitely check it out. But again, thank you for being here, and I will see you guys next week.